I'm so sorry, I got distracted with the countdown. Okay, and we are live 4 seconds. We are take two. Okay, so welcome everyone, those who are watching us live or recording. So we'll kick off with introduction of Dr. Chala, and then we'll engage in a conversation shortly. So Dr. Shaila Pervin worked as a senior machine learning engineer in Foxtel Group. Shaila was born and raised in Pabna, Bangladesh, and left home at the age of 18 to the capital city of Dhaka to pursue her bachelor degree in computer science and engineering from BUET. She then moved to Australia in 2009 to pursue her PhD in information technology from Monash University. After completing her PhD, Shala worked as a research scientist at IBM Research Australia for 7 years. At IBM, she was involved in various high value projects across different industry verticals, including government, education, and insurance. She worked on different topics such as cognitive analytics, conversational AI, risk and compliance, and natural language processing, NLP. The experience in IBM also led her to co-invent 22 US patents to date. Shala also had the opportunity to participate in IBM corporate social responsibility initiatives in the Czech Republic and Paraguay. After her tenure at IBM Research, Shala joined Capgemini Invent as a data science manager, where she helped clients in their journey towards data transformation by providing consultancy advisory on data strategies. Currently, Shaila had the opportunity to apply her research and consultancy expertise in Foxtel Group, where she is working on personalized recommendation and search capability for the OTT platforms of the organization. On the personal front, Shaila enjoys singing, yoga, meditation, hiking, exploring new places and new things. So, welcome, Shaila. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
So, Shala, I'd love to ask you a few fire questions before we engage in the actual interview. So, the first one, how do we pronounce your name, your full name correctly, please?
Yeah, so first name is Shaila, last name is Pervin.
Shaila Pervin. Thank you. Country that you're born, Bangladesh, in the city?
Pabna.
Pabna. That's how we pronounce Pabna. Favorite drink?
I'll go with water.
Excellent. Favorite meal or
Favorite?
dessert?
Yeah, anything sweet. Anything sweet.
Okay, have a sweet tooth. Favorite song or music, given that you enjoy singing?
Yeah, I go with anything very light listening. Anything very melodious. I immediately like that. Yeah.
Excellent. And you practice yoga. So anything else that you do to keep yourself fit in a physical or mental level, Shaila?
Yeah, physically, I'm trying to get a bit more regular to the gym. I'll do strength training. I like that. And mentally, fitness wise, I like to plan something for traveling or experiencing new stuffs in the coming weekends. That gives me lots of energy.
Okay. Favorite city?
I'll say Melbourne because after Bangladesh, when I moved to Melbourne, I almost spent a decade of my life, and many important milestones I achieved in that city. I still feel that that's my home out of home.
Wonderful. So good memories of Melbourne. That's good to hear. And if you're not working in the AI space, what would you be doing? What do you think?
I think I'll be a singer.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's finalize with a fun fact about yourself, Shala, that something that is we cannot find out, stalking in your LinkedIn. What would you say?
Yeah, like I recently joined an English band, which is kind of very brave act from my side as I'm not a native English speaker, but I'm really enjoying it. Doing few shows and one is upcoming next week.
Fantastic. Very, very exciting. I wish I was in Sydney to support you. So before we engage the actual interview, I just want to do a quick disclaimer. So all the information that will be provided by Shala today, it's her personal view and does not represent her employer, the Foxtel Group. Cool. So, Shaila, let's start with the challenges. So, for those watching us live on the recording, they might have seen in our website, we identified a number of challenges. And I'm curious to hear which of those do you resonate the most with?
Yeah. So for AI challenges, I will go with the framework part because I mean we all know that to ensure anything, though it is ethical or any other regulations, we need a framework. But for these AI problems or AI applications, what I feel like there is a lot to cover because anything and everything can have AI. And when we are trying to generalize the guideline or framework, it may not work well. Of course, it will consider or it will have all those core principles. But when we will come to specific applications, we have to tailor that towards that application. So it needs a lot of work how we make this framework applicable for everything, which is also easily usable, which is measurable. So lots of components.
Okay. Okay. And why is that the most out of the challenges? So for those who are not familiar with the challenge that we have on our website, so I encourage you to have a look. So the mindfulaImanifesto.org, you can visit and check it out. But out of those five we have up there, why this one? Why do you think this is the most important one for you? What are your concerns or your thoughts around it?
Yeah, I would say because I mean I if you ask the same question to many people, I think people will have their view from their experience, right? So my experience so far in AI domain is more on the development side. So I worked applying or developing AI applications. So what I face that this framework thing to translate into technical terms is always a bit of challenge. Like sometimes we talk about the most important factor of ethics, which is bias and fairness, right? So we can say that okay, this bias, as humans we have bias, but when we develop the application we should make sure that the data we are training with should not have bias. But this is a very high level statement. But as a developer, how do you make sure, what are the checklist, how do you know that your data is not biased? So these questions, answering these questions is always very tricky. It requires domain knowledge, it requires technical knowledge, a lot of mixture. It requires a bit good combination of team working together to solve this problem. So I would say like I'm coming to that framework part because of that technical limitation. How do you apply it technically?
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. And I think you kind of partially answered my next question, which was, I believe, based on my understanding, that it could take a long time for us to reach agreement, for us to have all the ducks in a row, to have all the policies, the standards in place for countries to agree among themselves and organizations and so on. So while all of this is happening, that's what we advocate in the Mindful AI Manifesto. It's we're really inviting those in the front line, or people like you, the machine learning experts, data scientists, to engage in this grassroots movement where every day you have the power to make decisions. So what do you think it that professionals like you, machine learning expert, data scientists, engineers could be doing or should be doing in that context?
Yeah, it's a very good point because I mean, nothing works by one single person, right? Like, even for if we take a simple example for an organization, say we are developing one AI product, but you can see that to make that decision from start to end to the development side, so many different levels of professionals are involved, right? It always starts with, of course, the business strategy, like who are part of deciding what this organization should do. It starts from there, and then if you decide the problem, if you formulate it, if you develop it, it will go towards the very low level engineers who are actually developing it. So hierarchy wise, a big number of people are involved in the whole process. So what I feel like, it cannot be anyone's specific roles responsibility. It has to flow from start to end. And I feel like each level of this involvement will have a different way to contribute to this problem, right? And as I'm more on the development side so far, I feel like I need to know the strategy wise or the implication of this application, not just technically solving this problem, but need to know what ultimately this product is trying to solve and what are the implications. Are we fully conscious of what it can do? So yeah, so understanding the, I will summarize it in this way, that the vision and the awareness should be in each level, right? And then whoever has what capacity, they should apply that.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So it's a really it's a team effort, it's a combined effort, and there is the hierarchy. So two things that comes to mind. It took me back to my business analyst days when you have the technical knowledge, but you need to have the functional knowledge as well. Understand what will be how your application will be used, your system, understand the business sides of the application and the impact. So that's one element, and the other element that comes to mind is the influence, the ability to influence. While people in the front line might not have the absolute power to make decisions, they still can influence and educate up as well about what's actually happening in the technical domain. Because
Yeah.
my impression working with CIOs, that's what I work with predominantly as an executive coach. um, uh, the knowledge and understandings actually can be quite limited when we talk about very senior leaders in the executive level.
Mm.
Okay. So I'll just pause there with just what I said. Do you have any comments or observations, or agree or disagree?
Yeah,
Everything's
no, no, I
welcome.
completely agree with that. And that's why I will come back to the same point that everyone should work together, because in higher level in the leadership team, when they talk about something, sometimes maybe that is not so much data driven, because the say low level engineers who are actually working with the data, they have more visibility on what's happening, right? So if this could go back and forth with the leadership team, that okay, we are thinking this, let's do a quick proof of concept. Does it work, or what are the actual things happening in the data? Let's make some comment or make some decisions which are data driven. And to do that, you need full cycle of people to work together, right?
Mm. Yes, it's a combined effort. Okay. Thanks, Shaila. The next question is around our initiatives. So we suggested, a number of initiatives that could perhaps help to address some of those challenges. So out of those 5 initiatives we have in our website, which of those do you relate the most, if any?
Yeah, I was reading that all I really resonate with, but I like number three, which is the discussion forum, and where of course it will create a safe space for the people to come together, connect, and create the manifesto together, right? And when I was thinking like why I like this, so few things come up to my mind. Like of course, one thing is the continuous evolution part, because we all know that we cannot stop at some point that okay, we are done with making it, because every day new technologies are coming up, new problems are arising, and then this manifesto needs to be continuously evaluated, right? And another thing is, of course, when it's a discussion forum, we get diverse perspective, so we cannot deny the impact of this diverseness, right? And another thing I was thinking about this accountability, when we will talk about common things and we know that someone else is doing it, so maybe subtle in our way, we will be influenced that okay, we need to do it as well. So it may create some accountability that we need to do it as well. Yeah, mainly for these few reasons, I think this discussion forum will be really useful. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Shala. And that's spot on. That's the reason why actually we're now looking to having live events. So we have one not scheduled yet, but probably happening in October in Melbourne. So maybe a good reason for you to come and visit Melbourne. And the intention is really to get people like-minded peers who have similar concerns and intentions to just connect and to see what actually developed from those conversations. Because once you are together in a room and you have a conversation and you connect, ideas could emerge. um, Wonderful. Okay, next question, Shala. It's Of course, the name of the manifesto is the Mindful AI Manifesto, partially for due to my influence. Although we have, ambassadors across 5 countries, there is this initiative was heavily influenced by myself. And being a mindfulness champion, that's how I decided to frame. But we talk about, responsible AI. There's a lot of talk about safe AI. Stuart Russell, when he wrote Human Compatible book, responsible AI, safe AI, all the terms. So with mindful AI, when you hear that term mindful AI, what that means to you, what comes to your mind when you hear that expression?
Yeah, it really resonates with me. And as I was telling you that I do a bit of yoga, like this mindfulness is how I see it. Like it's all about awareness, right? And by this mindful AI, I would say like whenever whoever is deciding what to do with this AI product, they need to be completely aware that what it is going to do. Like this AI product should not be for the sake of innovation only. We should ensure that it really integrates well with our societal values or the values we live with, right? So that's for me that is mindfulness. And also I would emphasize on that part, like as you asked that time, that who what can I do. So that is the thing, like for any AI product development cycle, whoever is connected in any capacity, everyone should be aware of like what it is going to do. There should be a unique vision, and then only we all can contribute from our position, that what how we can make sure that it is doing what it is supposed to do.
Fantastic. Thanks, Shala, for sharing your point of view. So I think you kind of addressed my next question, but I'll ask anyway. Maybe there is something else that you can add. So in terms of the mindful AI movement, so as I said, no, we are really encouraging those professionals at the front line, machine learning experts, data scientists, engineers, to take ownership, have conversations, and see what is within their circle of authority that they can do, to have a positive influence on this conundrum. It is a conundrum, right, that we have right now with, the fast speed evolution of AI and so on. So why do you think, I'm assuming because you are donating your precious time to be here with us, you had to, get the endorsement from your employer to be here with us, as everyone do need. So why did you accept to have this conversation, and why do you think the mindful AI movement is important?
Yeah, I mean, few common cause we all, I think we already agree with, like all this ethical implication, all this societal well-being impact on our societal well-being, etc. But another thing that comes to my mind is that sustainability aspect of these AI products, because this is a new thing, right? Like we are not seeing AI in everything around us yet, but we can gauge how fast and how much more we will see it in the long term, right? So if we are not conscious about this from now, it may not be sustainable, right? Like for example, for many critical applications, say maybe judgment, like criminal justice, or maybe for say job application, etc., or even healthcare, all those critical applications, if we are not aware of this from now, it may fail at the end, right?
Hmm. Yeah, so being proactive, right? That's the words in my mind, being proactive. Um, so we are almost reaching the end of our time. So, Shaila, do you have any final message, any final comments, or thing that you wanted to share with the people watching us live, or later in the recording? Any final thoughts?
Uh, yes, I will summarize. I think we covered quite a lot, but like again, like having the framework, of course, but tailoring the having the capability to tailor that framework to the actual development, and so that we can measure it, we can implement it, so that gap needs to be fulfilled, right? So I think when we are doing what we are doing now is our best thing we can do, that setting the guidelines, but eventually we need to have a technically implementable way to do it. Still, it will not be fully automated, never, but it should have a more easier way to adopt it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shala. So, for those who are curious, maybe want to have a chat with you, maybe extend the conversation after watching this LinkedIn live or recording. Are you open to connections on LinkedIn? Are you open LinkedIn? What are they called? The Lion, LinkedIn. network opener or something. So are
Yeah,
you open to new connections? People can ping you, reach out, and yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, wonderful, fantastic. So have fun at the concert, and we'll stay in touch, and I'll let you know once we have the event here in Melbourne,
Thank you
so we
very
can
much.
finally meet in person. You're very welcome, Shaila. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.